Hi there, welcome back. It's just another day, and today I have yet another good one for you, so you'll want to watch this one. So all of these apps that you're downloading for free, weather apps or monitoring apps, keeping up with your family, where they're at, they're free, but they come with a cost. And so today we're going to talk about that. Everyone knows that a lot of the insurance companies now have these apps you can download that keep up with your driving habits and you get better rates. And I would never put one of these on any of my phones or any of my cars. You can put the little thing that you plug into your OBD port. You're crazy if you do that for the little bit of money that it saves you. And we'll talk about that here, why today. So insurance companies promote these apps because it's a good thing. You want to get better rates. We want to reward you for good driving and all this. So DriveWise is the Allstate app that it lets you download the app and connects you to a more personalized auto insurance rate. They make it sound so good. They're going to make sure that they do everything they can to help you. So the more safely you drive, the less you'll pay. It's optional. It's no cost to you. And you can add it to any insurance policy. Enrollment is quick and easy, so they make it as simple as possible for you to join. It's a bunch of garbage. So that's from their website. So there's a proposed class action specifically claiming that the insurer tracked drivers' cell phone activity without their consent and used the collected data to raise premiums or deny coverage. The drivers also allege that Allstate sold this data. This is known as Telematics in the insurance industry. So they sold your data to other insurers. So if you get mad at them and they raise your rates and you try to go to another insurance company, those other insurance companies probably have your data too. So what do you think they're going to do with that when you say, hey, I was with Allstate, I'm coming over to State Farm, I'd like a better rate? And they're going to look at you and say, well, yeah, you jackrabbit your starts, you're spinning your wheels, you're slamming on brakes last minute. So we're going to get into that. So there's a claim by a man named Demetric Sims. He's the primary plaintiff in court documents with 37 others. So the U.S. District Judge Jeremy Daniel in Chicago ruled that drivers in the proposed suit can try to prove that Allstate monitored their travel locations, trip distances, speed, acceleration, braking, phone usage, and attention to the road, thus violating the Federal Wiretap Act. So you can say, well, I don't use the tracking app, so what do I care? So drivers allege that the data was collected through apps powered by data analytics unit Arity, which they also assert inaccurately reported their driving behavior, such as when they rode as passengers. So that's wild. The app, I guess, knows that you are moving in a car, so it assumes you're driving, even if you're not. And depending on whoever's driving, you're getting recorded with their driving habits. So the complaint claims Arity's tracking software was integrated into popular driving apps. You'll love this, including Fuel Rewards, GasBuddy, Life 360, My Radar, and Rootly, which is owned by Allstate. So they have this really sleazy way of providing all this data through all these other apps that have nothing to do with tracking how you drive, where you would willingly download the app and let them monitor your driving so that you get a better rate. So like I use My Radar. It's a simple radar program. It works really well. You can track movement of the storms and where rain is coming and so on. GasBuddy is another one that I use. So you're out somewhere, you need to know what the best gas prices are nearby. You can find a good price with the station you'd like. So these use this Arity, this data analytics, and they sell your data. Yeah, I didn't know this. So I had to go in and My Radar, you can actually go into the settings and turn off, I want to share my information with third parties. Why would I want that? But it's built into these privacy policies, the terms of service. So in GasBuddy, Life 360, you keep up with your kids. That's another thing where you're paying the insurance, but it's tracking how your kids are driving. So I remember what I was like when I was 16, 17 years old. I was a fiend behind the wheel. So if that was giving data to my dad's insurance, I would be in trouble. And it would make my dad's rates go up, I'm certain. Car insurance companies review driving data to assess how risky a driver you are. Frequent hard braking or speeding, for example, may be seen as signs of risky behavior. The time of day you drive also matters. Driving late at night or during rush hour can raise your chances of an accident, increasing the risk for insurers. So it's monitoring, okay, you drive during rush hour, down these busy highways, your chances of being in a wreck are exponentially greater than if you're on a back road at 3 in the afternoon with not a soul in sight. So they're gonna look at that and say, well, you're higher risk. You're using your car in places that maybe you shouldn't be. We're gonna make you pay more. So 3 of the 38 plaintiffs had their claims dismissed by Daniel, who permitted the remaining 35 drivers to pursue their claims under the laws of 20 states. In response, Allstate argued drivers have yet to allege it actually captured their data or that their insurance rates were affected. Allstate also pointed to its privacy policy that clearly disclosed the possibility of data collection. The insurer further alleged that, or argued that consumers who choose to share driving data through Arity-powered apps can only do so after a clear notice and explicit opt-in process. If you've downloaded these apps, do you even know that they're sharing your driving habits with your insurance company? Okay, maybe not directly, but it's it's sold to these other companies with third-party access. So Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton filed a lawsuit against Allstate and its Arity subsidiary in January 2025 for similar privacy and data collection breaches. Drivers have been stunned by their rising car insurance quotes despite a perfect record, later discovering it was because they were being spied on. So I've not had a wreck in pretty much my whole entire driving career. I did spin out on the highway and tapped a guardrail. I guess you could call that a wreck. Messed up my fender. But as far as with something that I claimed on insurance or another driver claiming on my insurance, I've never had that. I've had speeding tickets like I think most people have, and but for the most part, I'm older now. I don't drive anywhere near like I did in my teens, my 20s, and I just started wising up. And so I, based on age and what I drive older cars. I don't want a new car with all the tech and everything. So I drive older cars that I liked when I bought them. I still like them, and I'll keep them as long as they keep running. So my record's great. How much would it suck? Oh, and I don't drive much because I work from home. So how much would it suck if all of a sudden my insurance rates go up for some random stuff that I have no idea why? So Larry Johnson from Texas, he was shopping for car insurance, no wrecks, and a credit score that was improving. The quotes I was getting were they didn't make sense to me. He learned later it's because of a simple app that was tracking him and his family in ways he didn't expect. It was that Life 360 app. And so meant for family safety, so you can kind of check on it. It's basically like Find My Friend on Apple. It's an app that everyone downloads and shares their location. And so it'll show like speed, location, all kinds of different information. So Life 360 was tracking the driving habits, contributing to higher insurance rates for users, because Arity, again owned by Allstate, they're sly and tricky with that one. They don't just use the data itself, but also sells it to other insurance companies. So this guy, what was his name? Larry. He had no idea, and he's got young drivers in his house, and young drivers don't drive like older adults. Even if they're driving safely, they might not have as good a reaction time, might be hitting the brakes harder. So the Texas Attorney General lawsuit alleges companies are collecting and selling information on drivers who never opt in that way. So I don't opt in to let my radar sell my data to insurance companies. I mean, I I wouldn't knowingly do that. Why would I? I wouldn't even use the app. There have been apps that I've downloaded before. When I start looking at them, like, I'm not using this. I just delete it. Tina Marie Johnson signing up for an actual driving app through her auto insurance, not Life 360. She said, last year alone, my rates went up 3 times. I have no accidents, no speeding tickets, nothing. So how much would that suck? You think you're driving well, and they just keep raising your rates. Johnson revealed that the app would regularly ding her for unsafe driving due to her car's automatic braking. So yes, I have experience with this firsthand. We have a car with the collision avoidance system. You set the cruise control on the highway, you're just tooling along, it follows the car ahead of you, and then you have a decent distance that it's keeping, it automatically keeps whatever distance you select. Well, then someone cuts into that little tiny space in between you and the car ahead of you. All of a sudden the car is like, oh crap, braking. So the dashboard's lighting up, brake, and hits the brakes really hard. And my wife says this car is going to kill us eventually. And of course you've got cars behind you that your brake lights come on, you're jacking up on the brakes. So she said it was reading me drive, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? That type of information, she didn't even touch the brakes. But you know what? The app saw that. It's like, you're probably following too close and you had to slam on the brakes last minute. You're an unsafe driver. We're raising your rates. So that is terrible. If you have any of this app software or the port scanning system, just ditch it. Just pay the extra money. It can't be much more. You can probably find an insurance company that you can look around and hopefully get something if they don't have data on you yet. If you've been using this, sorry, it's probably too late. All these other companies have your data. Even with my Apple Watch, I'll be mowing the yard, and it's a riding mower, and then all of a sudden, after about 10-15 minutes, it says, it looks like you're working out. Would you like to start a bike riding workout? I'm not riding a bike, I'm just mowing the lawn. These apps are not perfect, and so they can't tell whether you're literally driving the car, whether the automatic braking or lane assist or whatever, whether it is doing it on its own or if you're doing this. And all it's doing is it's making your rates go up, and you're not doing yourself a favor. I hope you found this useful. I ask again that you please subscribe to the channel. It would really help me out. I've got a lot of stories that I've been kind of stacking up here. There's a lot going on, and I'll keep putting out information. Thank you again, and if you like my content, you can click on this one right here to see more. And thanks again. I'll see you in the next one.